So the breakfall backwards is what I call everyday self-defense, because it doesn't necessarily mean that someone has attacked me for me to fall. This can go in two ways. Either this is a self-defense situation, or I'm just being an idiot and for some reason I fell down. So let's take a look at the technique. So as we said with the breakfall, it doesn't necessarily mean that someone has attacked me. Obviously, if someone has, there are other things to do after we've fallen, but the breakfall part stays always the same. Let's analyze the technique. Let's start with the end position. So my end position is here. This is the finishing position. So I have both arms extended to the sides, roughly 45 degrees from my body. My head is elevated, my hips are elevated a little bit, and if this is a self-defense situation, I want to have one leg in the air ready for kicking or blocking. The number one thing we would like to prevent here is trauma to the head and trauma to the spine. The way we prevent trauma to the head is by tucking the chin when we're falling and basically keeping the chin pressed down so that our head doesn't bang against the ground. To prevent the trauma to the spine, this is where the noise comes from, slapping our hands to the ground to prevent the trauma to the spine. So by doing that, by slamming our hands to the ground, we're absorbing some of the energy, some of the potential damage to the spine, and by doing that we can prevent trauma to the spine. If we want to train this at home, let's start with the finishing position. So finishing position, as we said, head elevated, hands straight or the arms straight and pinned to the ground. Leg is ready to kick. This is my end position. So I'm laying down and just going wham. Make sure when you're slamming your hands to the ground that your elbows aren't touching it. Elbows are staying relatively as high as possible here with my hands and forearms slamming the ground. So one more time, this is one. The next step would be here. So we want to challenge our end position every time a little bit more. Starting it now from sitting position, I'm just going to do exactly the same thing. I'm going to go into my final position. Head is high, forearms and hands on the ground, knee ready to kick or leg ready to kick. After we've done this a few times and we feel comfortable, we can take it to the next step, going into the deep squat. And here it's the same idea. I'm going to sit down, lay down and do the technique. Once you've done that and you feel comfortable there, stand up. And again, go into a deep squat, sit down, lay down and do the technique. If you're doing this at home, it would be more comfortable and a little bit softer if you have a carpet or a mat or something to do it on. If not, please just be careful. Make sure that your arms are straight so you don't bang your elbows on the ground, on the floor. And that's it. That was the breakfall backwards in Krav Maga. Hope you enjoyed it. Please help us help others by liking, sharing and subscribing to the channel. We'd like to get this information to as many people as possible. And thank you very much. We'll see you next time.